Hello. Wanted to do a gold update video, which I haven't done in a while. Um, Basically, the last video I did on gold was prior to the Fed press conference, which was on the 30th, if I'm not mistaken, or sorry, whenever it was. A couple, yeah, almost like a week and a half ago now. And since then, we also had the NFP data, right? So I just want to talk about the kind of things that we've been seeing, the kind of reaction we got, and what I'm kind of expecting this week in terms of the price of gold, given what's been happening so far. So right now we're looking at the day chart, and over the last few gold videos, I've been mentioning how I've been bullish on gold, and I didn't really understand the crazy dollar sentiment in the market and being pushed by a lot of the financial media or whatever. Um, yes, I mean, we had this big flash crash back here, but I was bullish on gold even back here when around the 9th of August or so at 1750. I thought, man, this is a great price to be getting into gold. And yeah, I mean, congratulations on anyone who legitimately got into gold during this time. Um, because yeah, gold has seen a really, really, really nice run up lately. Okay, both from a fundamental standpoint, which has been driving gold price up, and also from a technical standpoint, the patterns are looking really, really good, right? What did we see with the press conference from Powell last time, right? Well, we basically saw him and the Fed, right, as a result of the Jackson Hole Symposium, talk about how they're going to taper assets soon, and that they really plan to do it potentially by the end of this year. But despite them stating that, we saw the market, or at least the gold market, push upward, right, with that press conference, and that was really, really interesting to see. And I think it just clearly showed that if the Fed isn't talking about raising interest rates anytime soon either, which Powell specifically mentioned, we're not going to raise interest rates soon. And they're just going to taper back already a ridiculous asset purchasing program. I mean, how much are they going to taper it back by when they're still already purchasing like 120 million or whatever it is per, worth of assets every month right now? I forgot the exact figures off the top of my head, but point is that I think the market is smart enough now to realize like tapering asset purchases at the levels, given the levels where we are right now, like even if you taper it back like 20%, you're still injecting a shit ton of money into the economy. So I think, needless to say, yeah, I didn't really understand why the market was so seemingly pro-dollar at the time. And yeah, I mean, the market reacted consequently how they should at that kind of that reaction from Powell, right? After the meeting and at the press conference. Gold went up because it's just like clearly the Fed is very hesitant to do anything right now, right? They don't want to do it. They don't want to fuck stocks. I've been mentioning this before, but they have to answer to a lot of people. They can't just raise interest rates or taper asset purchases seriously without severe economic consequences given the overall economic situation that the Fed has created with their monetary policy. So you guys have to remember that. And yeah, so consequently, we saw gold really push up. And then, gold was forming. Then looking from a technical pattern side, you can see here on the day chart, right, that gold was really starting to form really nice, kind of that classic step up pattern, right? We had all of these little wedges forming here. Step, then, pull back, step, so forth. You can see I can't draw it very well right now, but it becomes a lot more clear if you start looking at the hour chart, right? And just pull back here. You can really see, right? We had the wedge here, and then we had the push up. Then we had, okay, this time it was a bit more of like a pullback, right? Back here, but we pushed up again. We kind of made previous resistance support. Then the same thing again. We saw the exact same pattern again, right? Previous resistance became support. And then with the NFP news, we had that real big push up too. Okay, so that catalyst to really push up. In terms of the NFP data that came out, if you guys aren't fully aware, let's quickly go look at this. Oh, sorry, I can't look at this anymore here. But in terms of the NFP data that came out, uh, the numbers of new jobs that were created that came out was just so low compared to forecast. Again, it did not get even close to the forecast. And the reason primarily is because COVID is starting to have, or the Delta variant just ravaging the US is certainly starting to have a bit of a effect on the economy in terms of really getting that continuous job momentum that um, we had seen the previous month, right? As everybody knows, COVID is number one, or the US is number one in terms of cases right now. They're still having issues getting everybody vaccinated, despite the fact that they have a strong vaccination program. And part of me also wonders, the little bit of the conspiracy side of me also wonders if there was a little bit of manipulation with those numbers, just to kind of also let the Fed not have to, start tapering assets sooner, having another excuse to continue what they're doing right now. Part of me just wonders, but that's not real analysis. That's just me being a kind of a dickhead. But anyway, long story short, the NFP missed the forecast badly, and we saw that reaction consequently. And now we're at this very, very, very key resistance level, right, that we've known for a while. Even looking back at the day chart of 1830, the previous double top here, and now we're at a very, very, very interesting point in terms of how everything is going to progress over the coming days, right, just around here, and over the coming week in terms of gold price, right? So what would I like to ultimately see in terms of the price of gold? Um, Given where we are right now, am I still bullish on it? Am I a bit more bearish on it? What's my general outlook? Um, my feeling is that I'm still quite bullish on gold, but I do think that we have to remember gold was a great buy back here in the 1700s range, in my opinion. It was a great buy, and I think a lot of people got in here. And surely people have been taking profits as we've been hitting these, kind of these like relative like highs here, the higher highs, higher highs, so forth, and then we've been going up this pattern. I just wonder at what point are like longer term swing traders also going to be taking larger profits? Is it at this key resistance level here? Obviously, we've met resistance here again. Um, I don't think so. I still think that the technical pattern looks good enough where we could potentially see another kind of similar price pattern on the hourly chart over a few days form here before we get that breakthrough again. I mean, right now the fundamentals are pretty strong for gold and weak for the dollar. Okay, this week in terms of also just the big data releases, we have the PPI. It probably is going to be still high, or at least meet forecast, but still high. So relatively good for gold. Plus, there's just not a lot of big data releases this week or big events. So I think the gold price is still going to really be moving fundamentally in terms of the Fed meeting 2 weeks ago and also the NFP data that came out on Friday. So I think that overall, I'm still quite bullish on gold. I would also, with Labor Day on Monday, I would expect that we're going to see a couple of days of sideways price action, which for short-term traders, I think is going to present a really great opportunity to make some serious money, just kind of buying and selling um, a kind of a range, maybe between 1820. It would be really great if gold pulled back to 1820, made that support, right, like previous resistance back here up to about 1830, just bouncing around this range. Maybe take some short-term trades on that for the first few days, but then hopefully we can really see a breakout past this. And then looking at the day chart, start tracking or heading towards more the 1850 level, which would be the next really big resistance point from a more long-term standpoint, right? And maybe that's the level that some of the people that took kind of swing trading positions back over here, that's maybe the level that they're actually looking at then to actually take some real profits. We have to remember things or assets just can't keep going up forever in terms of price. They got to pull back too. And especially in a market which is also heavily leveraged like gold, when we get those pullbacks, sometimes you can get those serious liquidation events. So we cannot forget that when people start taking profits and the market just kind of topples over and crashes. cannot forget that. So don't get too greedy, okay? We're definitely now getting to the higher point where, back, I mean, 1900 has been proven to be very, very strong resistance over the last, basically now, year, right? So we have to remember we're getting towards the higher end of this range, okay? And we can't just expect gold to just smash through 1900 and go back to the 2000 level, right? So be careful like that. Like I said, I think this week gold is still looking pretty bullish, but we have to start being aware of those profit-taking levels, okay? That's it for today. That's just kind of my analysis of the market so far. Hope you guys found that helpful. Um, I will try and release more video content later this week. I've been trying to do videos at least every 2 or 3 days. I'll try and do more if I can, but I'm also busy. But anyways, guys, if you like the content, please consider giving me a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you have a question. I'll answer it, and I'll see you in the next video.